Ray Kroc, as you may know, was a self-styled founder of McDonald's. Even though he largely usurped that title from the McDonald's brothers, they were the actual founders and he bought that business from them. The Founder is one of the best movies I've ever seen for focusing on the entrepreneurial process. And that can be really instructive for law firms. Among other real-life events that get covered in the film, the fact that McDonald's actually became profitable as a real estate company. Kroc and one of his partners, Harry Sonneborn, created what was called a franchise realty corporation, and that owned the land on which the McDonald's franchises sat. So that created an additional revenue stream because the land would be leased to franchisees, and also allowed Kroc to open new restaurants without getting the permission of the McDonald's brothers per their agreement. Just incidentally, McDonald's is still one of the largest real estate companies in the world. They have $28 billion in real estate assets worldwide, separate and apart from the fast food that they sell. Another thing featured in the movie, when it becomes too expensive to store ice cream for milkshakes, because they needed these big freezers and there was a cost of refrigerating all that, Kroc decides to use a powder to make milkshakes instead, against the wishes of the McDonald's brothers and on the advice of his future second wife, Joan. Joan, by the way, left her husband, who was a McDonald's franchise owner, for Ray. Next, the movie covers Kroc's decision to focus on middle-class franchisees. He started by going to golf clubs and trying to get wealthy investors to own McDonald's franchises, but they didn't want to do anything because they already had money. So he needed people who were willing to work at the building of the local business and who would adhere to the McDonald's philosophy. That's all really interesting stuff in its own right, and those are things that entrepreneurs have to figure out all the time. How do I do this at a lower cost? How do I get people to invest in what I'm doing? This type of thing is pretty common. But I think the best scene in the whole movie, and one that lawyers should pay attention to, is when the McDonald's brothers actually plan out their process, which they call the Speedy System, S-P-E-E-D-E-E. So the brothers in the movie are played by John Carroll Lynch. He's Twisty the Clown from American Horror Story. And Nick Offerman, who you may know from playing Ron Swanson in Parks and Recreation. Great TV show. So Kroc takes these guys out for dinner, and they, foolishly, by the way, get an NDA, everybody. Give up the secret sauce, as it were, pun intended, telling them all about how they built their fast food system that would become an empire. So first, they closed the restaurant, which was doing pretty well, because they wanted to revise all their processes and start from scratch. People thought they were crazy, of course. Then they brought their whole staff to a tennis court and started rebuilding the system from the ground up. So Brother Dick, that's the guy who's played by Swanson, uses chalk to map out the kitchen floor plan on the tennis court. And once he's got that floor plan mapped out, he brings on the staff and they pantomime making up fake orders and moving around the imaginary kitchen equipment. That doesn't work very well the first several times. Everybody's bumping into each other. So they keep shooing everybody off the tennis court and Dick starts again. Eventually, they come up with a symphony of efficiency. This is a fantastic clip, and you can watch it on YouTube for free. So with the Speedy System in place, the brothers open the new restaurant. To rave reviews? No. The opening is plagued by insects, and no one can actually figure out how to navigate the process. The customers anticipate that the order is going to take a long time to arrive. They don't know that they can just take their order and go. Nobody knew what fast food was at that point. It's a total disaster. But the brothers don't give up, and eventually everybody catches on. And the rest, as they say, is history. Lots of good stuff for law firm owners here, right? Efficiency means more profits. It's okay to stop working for a little bit and think about your business, iterate on the process. People may not get what you're trying to do at first, but if you believe in the thesis, you should push ahead anyway. Now, you'll hear this statistic that most small businesses fail, and that's true. But tenacity is the real difference between that sort of business and the one that succeeds widely. Now go grab a f***ing McRib. They're back.